Welcome to Thursday Thoughts. Back in Sydney now. It's a little bit colder than the Maldives, but the sun's out, so can't be complaining. Got some really good downwind conditions yesterday. Great training from Molokai to Oahu. A few of the Sydney boys got out and got some really fast times. Perth, Sandley measured like a 49.5 top speed. He had a few crashes, so I think his average was close to 25, 26, but he did 50 Ks. So big run. Josh Koo, similar, did some of his fastest times. I think he did a 2:11 fastest K, which is epic for him. He's improving. Still new, the downwind stuff to him. So, he got 55 Ks. He always goes further, Josh. He zigs and zags a lot. So pretty cool to see the Eastern Suburbs boys get out there, and Benny Raymond had a good run on the 120. I sort of peer pressured him into using some smaller stuff, and he did really well. I was lucky enough to get out there as well, and did a 26k downwinder, did a PB, so Manly to Palmy, in 54 minutes. So I think I was averaging around 29 k's now. So for me, that's a PB for that stretch of the coast anyway. No super fast single kilometres, but I was really good average the whole way through, which is, testing a new downwind foil. It's pretty pleasing. Actually managed to paddle it up in the flat water as I was heading out, trying a slightly longer board. Certainly made it easier to get up and going. And then once up and going, it doesn't make too much difference. So kind of dialing in the Molokai equipment. But yeah, pretty stoked with that. There's been a few murmurs about what the course is going to be like for Molokai, and there's been a few, comments that it's going to be potentially starting at a different location, a little bit further north or in the wind line off Molokai, and finishing at China Wall rather than going all the way upwind. For most people, that's going to be really good, but personally for myself, I'd love it to be the same course as what the SUP is and the prone, because you can compare the two, and it's kind of the challenge, right? The challenge of the last 2 kilometres upwind, and the challenge of the first 1 to 2 kilometres in the flatter conditions. In saying that, the organisers have to do what's best for them. I know they're accommodating wingers as well this year, so to have the wingers tacking upwind at the finish is kind of a nightmare. And if they can't get started at the very beginning, it means the field's more spread out. So having the start in the wind line and finish in the wind line makes a lot of sense. It'll actually make it a super fun race too. I think there'll probably be more people entering for next year if that is the case. But personally, for authenticity, I'd love it to be the same course as everyone else, I guess. But the organisers have got to do what they're going to do, and I'm going to support whatever decision they make. If they can let us know sooner rather than later, it'd help a lot for someone like myself who's trying to, suss out equipment and foils and whatnot for the race. And obviously, if it's going to start in the wind line and finish in the wind line, we're going to be using much faster foils. It's going to be a much faster race. If we're starting in the shadow of Molokai and finishing at on the beach of Hawaii Kai, we're going to need to use a much bigger foil. So I'm pretty keen for either, but the challenge of the SUP and prone course requires a much bigger foil for the finish, especially, and the start. If it's just the wind line and the channel, we're going to be going really fast, and there's going to be records broken, but they're not really going to be comparable. They're going to be some top speeds broken anyway if we do the best section, I guess, of the race. But yeah, I'm keen to get back into it. I've got a bunch of boards I need to test. I got an 8.0, 7.6, 7.2, all by 18 wide, and then a bunch of 6.10 sort of different shapes. So I'm excited to try them out and sort of let you know my thoughts on the pros and cons, I guess. I'm going to test them in flat water. I think that's the best way to test it. And then I'm going to surf them or downwind them as well. But really, I think the biggest difference is going to be in the flat water. Obviously, flat water is a controlled variable. As soon as you go out in the downwind bumps, the length of the bumps, the size of the bumps, the speed of the bumps are always different. And just really hard to control those variables. So when I do test them in the ocean, they're going to be sort of ins and outs. So I can sort of paddle out upwind and then paddle up onto foil, come back into shore, swap boards, keep everything else the same, go out again. So it's got a bit of testing ahead of me, but exciting. And I'll let you know my findings. But yeah, that's I think it for now. Got a few events coming up north. Scott's Head paddle games, and another one next weekend. You'll hear more about that later. But yeah, that's my Thursday thoughts for this week. I know it's sad day here in Australia, but busy getting back into family life and getting my life back organised after the 3 weeks in the Maldives. So thanks for tuning in, and happy Thursday thoughts on a sad day.